Hello everyone, I'm your host Levi, and welcome to the Political Professor. No lies, no fake news, no conspiracy theories, nothing anti-government, just government accountability. I refuse to participate in the disbursement of misinformation, and I want to earn your trust. There are some things that we need to talk about, some things that I want to show you. Now, I started making this video because I'm a veteran, and when I saw this taking place, I thought I had to cover this. So here's the video I was making. We have some fun in the beginning, but then we get real fucking serious. My sarcasm is not meant to disrespect my brothers and sisters or their family, only the assholes using them to get their agenda passed. I want you to step back, open your hearts, open your minds, open your ears, and stop taking sides.
No fighting. No fucking fighting. No fighting. No fucking fighting!
And I'm going to say Republicans, because they're the ones that flip. Republicans say, you know what, I don't have a problem with the cost of this bill, but I'm going to vote no, because of some other reason whatsoever.
Man, fuck you. You know exactly why.
We need to hold people accountable.
Yes, we do. Me, you listeners, everybody needs to hold these people accountable.
This is total bullshit.
It is total bullshit.
How do you change your mind?
Yeah, how does a bill change its mind all on its own?
That they have just sentenced veterans to death.
I'll tell you what's gonna kill me is hypocritical crap like this.
They have put their politic before the life and well-being of service members.
We've put money before the life and well-being of service members.
For what? For some political stunt?
Ding, ding, ding. Right answer. Wrong party.
For some BS? What is it? What did they...
Remember the indicators of deception? This is one of them. I actually don't know who she is, so I probably shouldn't make fun of her too much.
Have to meet the needs of our veterans.
Oh, I know who this is. And I know damn good and well she knows why this didn't go through. She's a bald-faced liar, and she pisses me off. Speaker of the House, everybody, Nancy Pelosi.
But I'm very sad that 80% of the Republicans in the United States Senate said no.
Are you though? Or are you just sad about the money that was in that fund as discretionary? That's what pisses me off.
The veterans have waited too long.
We're really good at that, actually. The whole hurry up and wait.
Why subject them to this? Why subject them to this? Why subject them to this?
Wait, what was that again?
Why subject them to this?
Because we absolutely love being used as political weapons.
On the battlefield, we leave no soldier behind.
Know a lot about it, do you? Got some experience? Come on, Nancy, show me that war face. That's better. Look at the lady next to her, though. I kind of feel bad now. I mean, she looked genuinely upset. There are some people here that don't know what's going on.
It's a missed opportunity.
Oh, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. What? She's literally spewing shit out of her mouth.
It's hard to explain.
Shouldn't be too hard to explain. You've only worked in Congress for 35 years. Well, maybe you could understand if you were more like your New Deal Democrat father that worked underneath FDR, who put Japanese Americans in internment camps. Don't get me wrong, I'm not taking sides, but I mean, I didn't really like her before, but I really don't like her now.
Why did you abandon our veterans?
Man, she's really laying it on thick. And you know what? I am taking sides. I'm siding with the veterans, my brothers and sisters.
We're all
What? One more time.
Prepare for what comes next.
Like losing the majority because you pulled this crap? Anyway, I'm done with her. We're going to move on. So now we got this guy.
I'm David Shulkin, the former secretary of the VA.
Oh, good. Maybe he can explain why some of these VAs are so shitty. Not the people, really. I mean, it's the doctors he hires that have strikes on their records, and he doesn't have to pay him as much, you know? Anyway, next person. Nope.
Legion.
Hey, what up, girl? How you doing? I don't want to come on too strong or nothing like that, but I've been thinking about you. And I've been wondering.
I don't know who this guy is either, but, you know, some of these people are just being used. They don't know why they're here, so I'm not going to keep making fun of everybody I don't know. But, I mean, it's been fun, so there's that. And this isn't even the part that gets me, so I just gotta get past these people and move on. It was fun making fun of Nancy, though. That was a good time. Sorry if you like her, but you gotta know she's lying through her teeth and she's using veterans to try to get money. You know, disabled ones at that. So maybe you should reevaluate and research a little bit more before you back someone.
You must be magic, the way that you carry yourself.
It's like you got this
unspoken confidence, baby, you know it damn
Alex
well.
Morosky with Wounded Warrior Project.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Candace Wheeler at TAPS.
And no, she seems nice, so we'll leave her alone. I'm going to do my best to let her tell her story without YouTube taking it down.
I'm Susan Sire, the mother-in-law of the late Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson. I've been wearing this Army jacket for almost 5 years, carrying him on my shoulders because he couldn't lobby with me. He couldn't stand up for himself because he was too sick. I'm going to take you on a little journey. Heath was diagnosed with a rare form of lung cancer in 2017. 6 months prior to that, he ran a half marathon. 2012 and 2013, Heath was the Ohio Army National Guard NCO Soldier of the Year. When that happened, he had all of his politicians. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty flew a flag over the Capitol in his honor for being Soldier of the Year. On May 6, 2020, when he died, the only politician we heard from was Senator Sherrod Brown. Nobody from the Ohio Army National Guard has even reached out to my daughter or my family or his daughter. Heath was not our family's only casualty. Several weeks after her positive pregnancy test, there was no heartbeat. Because they had TRICARE insurance, TRICARE forced her to miscarry naturally. 6 weeks later, Danielle had not miscarried. She carried a non-viable little fetus through Christmas, through New Year, until her obstetrician, after I begged her obstetrician to do the DNC, that I would pay for it if TRICARE wouldn't pay for it. Finally, they paid for it. After it happened, her obstetrician told her and Heath, I advise you to not get pregnant again. She told them there was something seriously genetically wrong with one of you. What we removed surgically did not even resemble anything human. Now, we didn't know about burn pits and the toxic exposures till a year later. A year later, Heath is diagnosed with lung cancer and a rare autoimmune disease. After they medically retired him and he went into the VA system, everything went to hell. The VA denied him prescription drug medication to mitigate extremely painful side effects from his cancer treatments. These victims have side effects. They have symptoms that no other cancer patients have. These doctors, they send them from hospital to hospital all around Columbus, Ohio, because they didn't know what to do with them. When he was discharged from the hospital, the VA denied to fill that prescription. My daughter is a doctor of physical therapy. She had a full-time job, taking care of a young child and a 24-hour care of her sick and dying husband. I moved in with them for the last 10 months of his life to help. They applied for VA caregiver benefits so that Danielle could take a leave from work and be compensated to care for her soldier, Iraq war veteran husband. The VA denied the benefit, even though the nurse who came into the evaluation said he was the highest level of needing caregiver round the clock. They denied it, and the reason they said it was denied, because he could not prove it was burn pit or combat related. In the month ensuing, after the VA denied his prescription medication and he was in such extreme pain, my daughter, totally exhausted, no sleep for days, I'm picking her up off the floor as she's collapsing in front of her child on the floor in exhaustion. I'm laying on the floor trying to comfort her. Heath is over on the sofa, puking and a bloody nose and coughing. And I'm trying to take care of two people at once, which is virtually impossible. So Heath asked my daughter and I to overdose him because he wanted to put us out of our suffering. He felt guilty because he caused us to suffer, and he didn't want to do it anymore. He begged us for 2 months to do this. That meant neither she or I could ever leave him alone for 1 minute for those 2 months. They don't give a shit about veterans. And like someone said before, every single one has pictures with veterans on their Facebook pages, on their websites. Well, screw that. They don't support veterans. If you vote no on this bill, you do not support veterans. The burden of proof is on these veterans to prove it was combat related. So we couldn't hold up that burden of proof while Heath was alive. So after he died, with the help of Dr. Robert Miller from Vanderbilt University, he coordinated a lung autopsy for us. We know he had lung cancer. He also possibly had constrictive bronchiolitis, definitely an interstitial lung disease that they could not fully define because his lung tissue was so obliterated by the cancer. He had pulmonary fibrosis that we did not know about. He had deformed blood vessels. He had cells in his lungs that no pathologist could identify. But his lung cancer was not caused by him inhaling toxic burn pit smoke. A few days ago, Senator Mike Lee got up and gave a very passionate plea to every single one of his Senate colleagues. We need to show our veterans and our military that we have their backs. He doesn't have my family's back. And I'm done. And the next time I come back here, it better be to sign the damn bill at the White House because I'm sick and tired of this bullshit.
They don't have to understand that these are human beings. Do you get it yet? Senate's where accountability goes to die. These people don't care. They're never losing their jobs. They're never losing their health care. June 16th, they passed the PACT Act. 84-14. You don't even see those scores in the Senate anymore. They passed it. Patriot Pat Toomey stood on the floor and said, this is a slush fund. They're going to use $400 billion to spend on whatever they want. They live forever, and they never lose their jobs, and they never lose their benefits, and they never lose all those things. Well, they're not on Senate time. They're on human time, cancer time. Don't you have families? Don't you have people who are deciding how to live their last moments? I know some of them. They've been down here advocating with us. They spent their remaining time advocating so that other soldiers didn't have to face the indignities and the depravity and the desperation that they face. From what I understand, you're not allowed to just leave your post when the mission isn't completed. Apparently you take an oath, you swear an oath, and you can't leave. These folks can leave because they're on Senate time. Go ahead, go home, spend time with your families, because these people can't do it anymore. This is an embarrassment to the Senate, to the country, to the founders, and all that they profess to hold dear. And if this is America first, then America is fucked.
My condolences to Sergeant Robinson's family. To Valhalla, brother. I'll see you then. I apologize for not showing other testimonies from families who have lost loved ones. The Robinson family loss is no less or greater than any other. I chose her because her speech was powerful, emotional, and I did not want to bombard my audience, nor myself, with further heartbreak. And my attempt at humor in the beginning was aimed at politicians. Was my way of trying to brighten your day a little before having your heart ripped out. It wasn't my intention to disrespect any victims or their families, only the people using them to further political agenda outside the scope of what the bill was intended for. I'll try to remember to the link of the video in the comments. Now let's hear from Pat Toomey, who was referenced many, many times. I cut out a lot of blaming of the senator, not because I like him, I don't even know him. I did it because I knew what the Democrats were doing, and I'm not going to allow someone who I believe had done nothing wrong to be named over and over again in false accusation on this channel. I like to listen to both sides, which you can do if you open your mind, take a step back, and see things from a broader perspective with neutrality in mind. I believe that is the best place to make good judgments and informed decisions. If you're still with me at this point and you found the information informative or helpful, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it.
This is the oldest trick in Washington. People take a sympathetic group of Americans, craft a bill to address their problems, and then sneak in something completely unrelated. And we were promised that we'd have an opportunity to offer an amendment to change this. And then, of course, that was reneged on. So people hadn't had a chance to be socialized about this. Let me be very clear. The Republicans are not opposed to any of the substance of the PACT Act. And if I get my way, I get my change, it will not change by 1 penny any spending on any veterans program. What I'm trying to do is change a government accounting methodology that is designed to allow our Democratic colleagues to go on an unrelated $400 billion spending spree that has nothing to do with veterans and that won't be in the veteran space. Well, first of all, let's be clear. If my amendment passes and we strip out this completely unrelated provision worth $400 billion, I will vote for the bill.
Alright, let's put some things into perspective. Senator Ron Marshall is a doctor and was a captain in the U.S. Army. And that jackass Senator Jon Stewart is a third-generation farmer, which is a noble profession, but he's not a veteran. And he's in the beginning of this video immediately lying. He is also the one on the Senate floor the day it passed that opposed any issues these veteran senators brought up, including granting immediate access to local services to assist the VA with the influx of patients, while also telling them that we veterans prefer the VA to private doctors.
And more than that, time after time after time again, we've heard that veterans prefer getting their care from the VA. We should not privatize the VA.
If you would like me to cover VA scandals, cover-ups, and my own experiences with the VA that spans over a decade, let me know in the comments. And I'm still working on the oil, net zero, carbon-free energy video that spans years and covers the globe. It shows you how far this administration is willing to go at any cost to reach the goal of net neutrality, while the rest of the world is backsliding in the cold. You can watch my cut-down version of the Senate hearing on the day of the vote. I do have some touch-ups to do. If you're interested, keep a lookout for that video. Bernie Sanders discusses the Build Back Better plan at the end. I think this is important. I'll be covering this as well in the future. The fact that he is against this Democrat-drafted bill is a huge red flag to me. Also, I'm almost finished with another video, the tools that I use to cut through all the bullshit. So hit that notifications bell, subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Now I'm happy my fellow veterans and families will get what they have most definitely earned. However, this act was very complicated. The Senate put a lot of work into this, and for the House to just add funding for themselves that exceeds the funding allowed for the veterans, they got more money out of this than we did. It's disgusting. The House is responsible for this, pure and simple. I showed you that in the documents from congress.gov. I hope I was able to show you what I learned, giving you the evidence to support it, and still entertain you in the process. Keep all of this in mind when it comes time to vote. Pressure your senators to make term limits. Research your candidates, keep an open mind, and listen to both sides. And do you think John should apologize to Senator Toomey? I guess time will tell. I'll see you next time.
The full power of centralized government. This was the very thing the Founding Fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. They also knew, those Founding Fathers, that outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy.
Veterans prefer getting their care from the VA.